Strength is not noise. Power is not aggression. And true mastery begins in the mind. Welcome to Martial Mind Studio, where discipline defines character and purpose is built on strength. I'm your host, Abdullah Bayett. Let's begin. In our studio today, we have our esteemed guest, Imraan Moosa, who's a member of parliament, a stalwart, an ambassador, a councillor of Lenaisa, who started off at grassroots level and now representing us at the highest level. Imraan Moosa, welcome to Martial Mind Studio.
Shukran, thank you so much. Is it Sensei or should I say Shiham?
Abdullah is fine.
Abdullah. No, but we have a title. You know, for you to have gotten the title took a while. For me to get known as a councillor or a member of parliament took sacrifice.
Yes.
And that achievement should be in unison with our name, so you recognize as Shiham Abdullah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, Abzab. So today we're discussing the aspect of service over status, okay? And I'd like to know how you could identify with the importance of service leadership.
Okay, so Shiham, let me put it to you this way, that firstly, let me start by saying that all power and might comes from the Almighty.
Absolutely.
And all our services and leadership is attributed for the sole purpose of serving mankind. That's the first, important principle.
Yes.
That we should understand that we do this for the pleasure of Almighty, and we have a journey to follow. And that journey is a very strong journey. Yes. In terms of our servant leadership. So your question with regards to how does this type of leadership differ from status leadership, or are you referring to the importance of servant leadership? Yes. Which I think most youth identify with servant leadership when they understand that leadership is about impact and influence. So servant leadership is all about impact and influence.
Yes.
Because if you don't have an impact and you don't have an influence, how do you then attract others to do good in life?
Or make a change.
Or to make a change, for example. Yes, exactly. So servant leadership begins with listening, yes, understanding, especially with regards to people's struggles. We see people going through difficulties, yes, adversities, challenges, and it is how we respond to those challenges and struggles, yes, that people go through. So with that, many young people, without realizing it, they're helping at home, or they're supporting their friends and volunteering or standing up for what is right. When you see that leadership is about serving humanity and uplifting others, it becomes a relatable, practical and achievable experience.
And it's about experience.
Yes.
Right? And the experience, one experience is connected to the other. It's like a continuum of events. And I think that it's closely aligned to purpose, because if you align to your purpose, everything you do has a continuum and the dots connect. Well
defined, yes. So I think that in a nutshell, describes exactly the question that you pose with regards to how does youth identify with the importance of servant leadership.
Yes.
It's very impactful, it's very influential in that whoever surrounds you in whichever environment you are in, it influences that environment.
Yes.
And it depends on how impactful you are, so that others can take lead from your example.
Yes.
So that's in a nutshell what servant leadership is all about.
Can you tell me, climbing up the ladder to where you're at the moment, how does one deal? Obviously, you won't have everybody support your cause and your plight. You're going to have criticism, you're going to have the naysayers. And how do you deal with that in terms of still climbing up that ladder without being personally affected by that?
So criticism is always part of leadership. You must expect criticism. It means you're doing something right.
Right, yes.
Because jealousy and envy goes with leadership.
Yes.
With servant leadership, you will always have jealousy and envy. It's normal.
Correct.
And especially in the political sphere.
Correct.
There's a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy, people in the political field ensure that they try at every means to bring you down.
Yes.
So you extremely volatile
Yes.
in the circumstances, and you got to just respond with integrity,
Yes.
with patience, with tolerance, with persistence, and manage those criticism in such a way that it helps you grow.
Yeah.
It makes you stronger.
Yes.
It gives you strength to know that you're doing something right.
You're doing
for
something
for somebody to have that amount of jealousy and hatred.
Correct. And I think that actually comes down to when your ego is in check and your ego is aligned. Your ego is aligned to managing your personal self. So criticism doesn't affect you, and neither does praise.
Sure.
So you are neutral throughout it all, and the job still gets done, whether it's positive or negative. You shared something very pertinent and something very interesting, which I'd like you to touch on. Everybody in our community understands the concept of servant leadership and how well you embody that. A typical scenario would be you fixing up the potholes. So that's really, really telling, and that's really close to our hearts, because you take examples by going to a street that's infested with potholes, and really the entire community faces the inconvenience of potholes. You take it out of your own time and out of your own pocket to make sure that you go and repair those potholes. I'd like you to mention a recent example with potholes where you took out of your own resources to go and assist to repair those potholes.
Yes, it's quite common.
Yes.
in government. The reason why I'm saying this is very common. Unfortunately, we have government that cannot service and ensure that our infrastructure is in such a state that it is where we could say serviceable.
Yes.
And in the circumstances we find ourselves as community, what do? When you bang your head on a service provider, like for example JRA, which is the Johannesburg Roads Association, which is responsible for potholes, and you find that they're not delivering for whatsoever reasons, budget constraints, whether it's corruption, whatever it could be.
Yeah.
I'm quite open about what I speak about, and I'm not shy about what I speak about, and this is where we fit in government to ensure that there's transparency, there's ethical governance.
Right.
And this is the part we have to play.
Yeah.
So we need more individuals to put pressure on government. For example, with this particular instance that you're mentioning, when potholes are not seen to, what do I do as a councillor? Or what do our community do? Do you just stand back and say, right, we're going to wait for the council to pass a budget next year in March?
You wait forever.
Because you'll wait forever.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we then do is sometimes, like in the instances, we have to take out of our own pockets, and ensure that, those roads get fixed.
Right.
And the community is satisfied.
Yes.
In as much as it's difficult on our sides at times, because you can't solve all the problems
No.
all the times.
Of course.
That is just one example of potholes.
Yes.
There's multiple problems in every field. It can be with lights and water accounts, it could be somebody in desperate need of food, it could be many, many other different reasons.
Yes.
For people looking for assistance.
Oh, yes.
Just for somebody to rely on or to find trust and confidence to able to assist them.
And this is what I'm speaking about. Not many people understand. I mean, everybody looks at Hafiz Imraan as a councillor, a member of parliament, but they don't understand that he embodies what he takes. He personifies the concept of being a humanitarian. That humanitarian effort, how many of us will part with our own hard-earned money to make sure that we're servicing the community, and you then become an unsung hero. But this is the reason why we needed to give this dynamic leader a voice, for people to understand what servant leadership truly embodies. So thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. Give us examples in your history of being a councillor and a member of parliament in your community, which I know you're very passionate about. What organizations have collaborated with you or aligned with you to make a difference in your community that you would like to honor and also remind people of the importance of collaborative effort with regards to changing community?
So thank you for that question, because it is people like yourself, Shyam, that make a difference in our community, that contribute to community. You sacrifice your time, your resources, and give that spirit and energy to such an extent that you motivate and encourage youth. And we need people like yourself, and there are many others as well,
Yes.
that we learn from, and we understand that there's a fine balance. When I say a fine balance, I mean is that we influence some, and some, like you earlier pointed out, you may find that you critique for many reasons whatsoever, out of jealousy or envy.
Sure.
But I think focus is very, very important.
Yes.
And purpose is very important. Your focus and purpose is very important in life.
Of course.
You focus and if you're purposeful in life, I think you will succeed, notwithstanding any other adversities, challenges. And we know from many scriptures, not just the Islamic scripture, but many of the divine books,
Yes.
they all teach us that many of the successful leaders, how did they become successful? Is that when their nations and their communities were going through trials, tribulations, challenges, difficulties, adversities, this is where they stood up and guided the nation.
Yes.
And this is the role we need to play as servant leaders.
Correct. And it starts with intentionality, right?
Absolutely.
Everything starts
Well
with
said.
intention.
Absolutely.
Because could you imagine you don't have the right, and we need to reassess our intention continuously. Because you might start off with a noble intention.
intention.
They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right?
Yes.
So you have to reassess your intention, and the moment it's ego driven, you reassess, you realign, and that happens hour to hour, not even day to day.
Absolutely. So it's very important, like you say, your intention. And if your intention is sincere,
Yes.
and if you focused and you seriously want to achieve what you aim for, you will achieve it.
Okay.
Trust me. You have to have confidence, you have to have positivity. All these factors
Yes.
fit into your personal journey
Yes.
to ensure you achieve your goal.
Of course.
So the question with regards to ego as well. Ego is very, very important. Sometimes you can lose yourself in ego, and people may mistake our exposing ourselves. For example, if Shiham Abdullah or Member of Parliament Imraan goes out there into the public, and we ensure that our branding and marketing is such that it's impactful and influential, it affects others with envy, with jealousy sometimes.
Correct.
And then what happens
It's the reality.
it's a reality. And we have to just stand strong. As I mentioned earlier, one of the fortes that I've learned worldwide, and the Jews that are very good at is media.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of you, Shyam Abdullah, is that you started this podcast as an initiative in Indonesia. It will help our community, it will influence community, especially amongst the youth. It's something very much needed.
Yes.
To sort of encourage, motivate, and inspire youth.
Yes.
And
many youth are lost. They just need direction. They need to learn how to use their voices. And with the support of pure-hearted people like you, how could we fail?
Yes.
I was just looking at Member of Parliament Imraan Moosa's phone earlier. He's got 20,000 contacts. 20,000 contacts. And he took the time to respond to my message to be here today. We really appreciate that so much. Tell us, a dynamic individual like you who's so successful, who would you consider your role models?
So let me tell you, right, I come from a very religious background. I must be open, honest. I'm a very strong believer in faith, in that I believe in the Almighty. I believe in all the messengers.
Yes.
I believe there are angels that record all our deeds. And, in terms of being a Muslim, my greatest leader is our Prophet, our beloved Prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who I take my leadership from. And all the principles and values that he imbibed during his time, we try and ask ourselves many a time, if he was in the situation, how would he react?
And don't we fall short?
We always fall short, and that is why we always ask the Almighty for forgiveness,
of course,
on a daily basis,
and
guidance. So this is very, very important, and we praise the Almighty that He's given us the opportunity, people like yourself, myself, and there's many other leaders as well that do good. This morning I was so impressed with some of the donors that came to a school, and they just, out of pure good-heartedness, not even from South Africa, come and they give out some, charitable, school bags and stationery. It's highly impressive to see, there is
And
good
people
in the
care.
world.
There are people who care.
There are people that care. And for me, I think that's the way we should lead by example.
Agreed. I love that. Tell us where you are in your journey now, in terms of the vision you have in South Africa, where you'd like to take South Africa, because we have a beautiful country. And if you look around at the global political situation, I think we have a lot more to be grateful for in terms of what we have here. Tell us about your current impact, your vision and your current impact in terms of where we are politically.
So remember, I'm one individual, and I have a very strong vision, very strong strategy to ensure that the country still has hope. There's plenty of resources. Unfortunately, it's not used in the way that it should be used. So my vision for this country is that every citizen in this country should be comfortable. They should have a house, they should have employment, they should have food, they should have education, they should have free medical treatment.
Right.
All these are
access to basic human rights.
Necessities. Yeah. And we're falling short as a country. Just to make mention how bad our country state is in. And we citizens have to really wake up and understand the situation we're in. There is at the moment half of our population that is reliant upon social grants. Now that is a travesty of justice.
Yes.
Our Department of Social Development pays out 280 billion rand in social grants, which means people are not employed, people are reliant on small stipends to live their lives. Hence you find the
crime spike,
drugs spike, and every other social ill that you find that GBV is now common with. These are all because of the fact and reason that we don't have sufficient government funding to ensure that the nation is taken care of. So this is some of my vision that I would like to see, very much like what Gaddafi had in Libya.
Yes.
If you look at what Gaddafi had, and he was killed for that very same reason.
Yes.
He was killed because he ensured that his nation was taken care of.
Yes.
There was education free, there was housing free, there was medical aid free.
Yeah.
And that is something that he really strove for.
Wow.
Unfortunately, many of the great leaders sacrifice sometimes their lives.
Yeah.
And this is where we stand. So one of my visions is that to ensure that every South African in this country gets services, unlike what's presently happening. Some way or the other, we need to mobilize our nation to ensure that we find solutions and hope, so that this country is run on ethical governance, on transparency, on responsibility of government officials to be such leaders and take responsibility of their portfolios in such a way that our citizens in this country are taken care of.
Okay, so you have many titles. Hafizat, Member of Parliament Imraan Moosa, stalwart humanitarian. Tell us, what is your message out there to the youth? What impact would you like to set through your voice?
I think it's very, very important for youth to understand that there is hope in this country. Never give up. And find ways and means to ensure that the community you live in is uplifted. And you can do this in many forms and ways in the environment, whichever environment you're in.
Yes.
And also it's important that youth set goals and purposes in their lives. And not just set goals and purposes in their lives with achievements such that they have time frames placed.
Right.
And understand that we have huge challenges in this country. Get involved in the political dynamics of this country. Never give up hope. One of the worst weaknesses we have in society is that many of the youth apathetic towards politics. The mindset should change, because you cannot build a country without getting involved in politics. We cannot throw stones at glass houses.
Yes.
We must get involved in solutions.
And we are responsible for the change.
We are responsible ourselves for government and any other changes and whatever happens in our community.
Absolutely. Imraan Moosa, Jazakallah so much, Member of Parliament. Hafizab, thank you for your time. We really appreciate having you. Thank you for honoring us with your presence.
Always my pleasure with yourself, Shyam. And I must say, it is highly admirable for you to have brought this podcast to Lenaisa. I think it's a great initiative, very innovative as well on your side. It was something that will help the youth in Lenaisa. Well done, and keep it up and take care.
At Marshall Mind Studio, we believe that when you strengthen the mind, the body follows, and that is how societies change, with one strengthened individual at a time. So from the dojo to the home to the world, strength begins in the mind. Tighten your slack, polish your spirit, and toughen your body, and train your mind to live a life of purpose. So from us at Marshall Mind Studio, may peace be upon you, and we'll see you on the next clip.